wheeling deal.
Get our official stories kicked off with this. Now, of course, you guys know the other week, Chair Watch happened, where for 5 hours, there was a slow, mind-numbingly painful, just slow pan of chairs with names on them.
It was genius.
250 million people watched.
So genius, which of course they would have watched it if a dog shit out the names of people. But regardless, it was a really, getting that list, regardless of how they gave it to us, was really fascinating and interesting. But did you know that as we were finding out who was going to be in Doomsday, the stars of Doomsday were also finding out?
Like they didn't even know they were signed?
They didn't even know who else was in the movie.
Yeah.
Now, we find this out through an interview with Shang-Chi himself, good Canadian kid, Simu Liu, who's recently was on the Jennifer Hudson show and was doing an interview. They talked about it. And Simu Liu basically said, I didn't know who was going to be in the movie until that event. This is what happened. Simu Liu said this. This comes to us from Comic Book Movie, who wrote, what I will say is this. I knew I was going to be involved in it to some capacity, but I didn't know who else they were announcing, Liu continued. They don't tell us anything. Tom Holland and Mark Ruffalo ruined it for all of us. Now they don't tell us. The actor added, I saw when Sir Alan McKellen and Sir Patrick Stewart were announced. These are two of the greatest actors to have ever walked the face of the earth. That blew my mind.
Oh.
So a star of Avengers. Oh, thank you, Upside Dan, who just sent in a $9 or $10 super chat badge. Thank you, Upside. A star of the Avengers literally didn't know who else was going to be in the movie. Now, we've been hearing over the past couple of years more and more, Marvel has been tightening up on stuff a lot. Like, one of the actors even said not too recently, I never actually read a script until the day I showed up on set.
Crazy.
Like, they're really tightening it up. But I never would have imagined that there would literally be actors in the movie who didn't know who else was in the movie. To me, that's kind of wild. Anyway, Chris, you hear Simu talking about this. Mm-hmm. Is this Marvel being overly paranoid? Do you think this is the norm now? I mean, how do actors not call each other and say, hey, are you going to be in this next movie? Or do they have to not answer the question?
Because Kevin Feige's going to blow dart them if that happens, John. He's got a laser locked on every single one of these actors now. I think this is probably our new normal after just kind of the speculation and the reveals that we had with the last big kind of tentpole Marvel moments, those big crossover events of, is this person in this? Does this person die? What happens? Tom Holland having the worst time trying to keep things to himself. And
was it him who said when being interviewed, was it Holland who said when being interviewed for Infinity War said, like, oh, it's absolutely bonkers, everybody dies. Well, I mean, not everybody dies. And like one of these cast members,
I believe it's either Don Cheadle or Benedict Cumberbatch who's like, no, why? It's so great to watch the two of them on that media tour as well. Don Cheadle is constantly just like, what is wrong with all of you? And it's Benedict Cumberbatch being like, oh, no, let's stop. So I feel like after that, a lot of these actors are now just being kept in the dark for as long as possible. I also just think this is a really wholesome kind of interaction too of just, can you believe I'm in a movie with these guys?
Yeah.
Like, you are the lead in a Marvel film. I love that he just has that kind of admiration, and rightly so, for these incredible actors. But I feel like moving forward, we're probably going to be a little bit more cloak and dagger and a little bit closer to the vest for all of our Marvel announcements.
But I mean, you mentioned the wholesomeness of, but when you really think about Simu Liu, like now we think of him, he's a star of a Marvel film, right? His only big claim to fame, just a couple of years ago, his only big claim to fame was being one of the stars of this, at the time, little viewed outside of Canada, little Canadian sitcom show called Kim's Convenience, which is absolutely one of the best shows you could possibly watch. Watch it. It's amazing.
I will die for Appa.
Oh, now he's in Star Wars.
Yeah.
So you got all these guys coming. But so, I mean, that show is incredible. But I mean, now, even when he had his own Marvel movie, okay, Ben Kingsley's in it. That's amazing. But now he's looking down at this list. I'm going to be in a movie with Robert Downey Jr. I'm going to be in a movie with Chris Hemsworth. I'm going to be in a movie with Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. And like, that's got to be amazing.
A movie he pitched himself for. A movie that he long game pitched himself for of, hey, Marvel, why don't you just talk to me? I think I'd be good for this. Shoot your shot, everybody. That's the moral of the story.
Rob, we're hearing now that even the actors were finding out as Chair Watch was going on who was actually going to be in the movie with him. Is this Marvel going too far? Does it kind of fit? I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think it's exactly what they kind of have to do. You know, they can't, because look, these actors aren't aware. Like, they don't even know how their characters relate. Like, I'd love to talk to Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. Like, how many times has Patrick Stewart died in the X-Men movies? And he's died. Patrick Stewart has died in 2 different studios movies playing the same character. So he died in Multiverse of Madness, and he died in Logan.
Yeah,
and Dark
he
Phoenix.
he
died
died in that other X-Men.
X-Men
I
movie
think.
too. So
what was the
Phoenix.
Last Stand? Didn't he die
Yeah.
in Last
Well, not
Stand
Dark
too?
Phoenix, but yeah. Last Stand.
Yeah, Dan. So it's like,
He's Kenny from South Park.
Oh,
yeah, I
man.
mean, but isn't that wild? So he's like, I would just assume that these actors, like, are you going to die in this movie, buddy? Are you going to finally get a decent death scene?
Won't we all be shocked if he lives?
I mean, I don't. How are they going to do that?
Now, none of us believe there's any chance that Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen are going to be Charles Xavier Magneto moving forward
No.
in the MCU, right?
No,
No. Okay.
no, they're going to, whatever battle world, whatever confluence of events happens. But I bet they will die again. They should die together. They should have an epic scene where they're fighting together.
Listen, if you understand Secret Wars and you understand the mechanic of the story, if you thought a lot of people died in Infinity War, hold on to your butts, because there could be a lot of people dying. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Hungryroot. Okay, so I'm sure you guys can all relate to this. Spring hits and suddenly life goes from like 0 to 100. Busy season is officially in full swing over here. And honestly, who's got time to go grocery shopping? That's where Hungryroot comes in. See, because Hungryroot is like having your own personal shopper. I told them my goals and they started curating groceries for me that actually fit my life. Be it smoothies, snacks, salad kits, even ready to eat meals. All clean ingredients, no artificial junk. This week, I got the grilled turkey tenderloin with pesto grilled veggies, and it was amazing. And I got my usual protein-packed snacks. It's like they're learning my taste better than I even know myself. And the best part is, I don't have to waste time driving to the grocery store and wandering the aisles. That's time I can spend doing literally absolutely anything else. Guys, I love Hungryroot. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/Campea and use the code Campea. That's hungryroot.com/Campea, code Campea, to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/Campea, code Campea. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Simu Liu saying, I didn't even know who else was going to be in Avengers Doomsday until Chairwatch. Like, that's how we found out. They're not telling us this stuff anymore. Does that kind of track? Are you surprised to hear it? Are you not surprised to hear it? Is Marvel being too paranoid, or do you think that's just the way they got to be now? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.